Well, mission mode is still on the table, but we're waiting for one update to come out before that one. An update that nearly nobody knows about. An update so delayed that it could still be years before it comes out. I know many people have been waiting for this one. Back in 2016, CTGP Revolution received probably the biggest update it received at the time. It added many new features to the game, and many competitive time trial players loved this update. And so, with this update, it became slowly clear how much opportunity CTGP Revolution had besides simply being a custom track distribution. And so, after the time trial update for CTGP, MrBean and Chadderz began working on an even bigger project for CTGP, a project that would change the game forever, how the game is played, and the online mode, with the goal of fixing one issue that has been persistent on CTGP, the rule voting update. Before we talk about that, if you want to see more Mario Kart Wii Unsolved videos like this, make sure to subscribe and like the video. It lets me know that you want more of this. Enjoy the video now. If you've ever played CTGP Revolution online before, it's likely that you'll know about the inactivity of Countdown. Countdown is a game mode that is in CTGP Revolution. It is only possible to play Countdown online. There is a problem with this system, however. Mario Kart Wii is too small. Let's be honest here. Compared to other games like Minecraft or Geometry Dash, Mario Kart Wii has a considerably small community around it. The online mode just isn't as popular as some games like Mario Kart 8 for example. Because of this, countdown rooms very rarely happen on Wiimmfi. Most of the time, the activity online goes to custom tracks worldwide or Nintendo tracks worldwide. This means that countdown rarely ever gets played, and even if you want to play it, it's not easy to find players on it. This problem also persists in Mario Kart 8, but considering Mario Kart 8 has a much bigger online space, it's not as noticeable. MrBean and Chadderz are well aware of the situation of Countdown being inactive. So with the introduction to special friend room settings, MrBean and Chadderz set off to not only solve the Countdown inactivity, but also make it possible to have friend room settings in worldwides. Essentially, in this update, players will be able to not just vote for their track, but also would have a chance to vote for what settings they want for a race. This would also include Countdown and the majority of friend room settings that are already in the CTGP channel. This was meant to be the biggest CTGP update, and would fundamentally change how the game is played online. MrBean and Chadderz kept this update secret for a while and made little to no previews or announcements for the longest time. They wanted it to be a surprise, and we got little to no information about it for a while until something happened that allowed them to finally talk about it: the discovery of mission mode. If you ever wondered how mission mode was discovered, this was how. As I said in my Unsolved Mystery of Mission Mode video, MrBean was doing research on screen transitions for a CTGP update when he accidentally stumbled across a menu transition that took him to the mission mode menu. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend checking out that mission mode video for a more in-depth explanation regarding mission mode. The mission mode discovery was groundbreaking, and it made MrBean want to finish the mode. He streamed development of mission mode on stream and how he discovered all the objectives and pieced the game mode back together. During these streams, many people asked if MrBean was planning on adding mission mode to CTGP, which then after the questions, MrBean and Chadderz said that it was on the table and that it would be possible, but they have other projects they would rather get done first. After mission mode was in working order, MrBean and Chadderz began actively talking about the rule voting update. There was no official announcement of this update, but it was actively talked about. There was even a time where they revealed screenshots of what work they had done so far of the game mode. I'll go ahead and show those images now while I continue speaking. As you can see, these are the menus that would have been used for in the rule voting update. Some of these buttons look like repurposed mission mode buttons. There are signs that there is even a character restriction that people could vote on as well. Mega thunderclouds are here, CC types. It looks like this update was going well in development, but what exactly happened to this update? Is the update cancelled? Is it delayed? Let's find out. During rule voting development and after mission mode was in working order, MrBean began working on Item Rain. The reason was because he was in America and he didn't have his normal tools to continue the development of rule voting. So he made two new game modes there, Item Rain and Overclocked. Overclocked made the game run at 2x speed, and Item Rain was inspired by his hacking days back on Nintendo WFC. Only one of these game modes made it into CTGP. Overclocked was on the table to be added, but unfortunately couldn't due to it being pretty broken. Then eventually MrBean arrived back home where he was meant to continue working on rule voting. However, after his trip back, another project distracted him. Out of nowhere, 200cc and faster speed mods for Mario Kart Wii became a good trending topic. TWD98, also known as Troy, began making constant videos on these insane speed mods. After doing a bunch of videos on 200cc and other speed mods, Troy asked Bean to work on a 200cc game mode for CTGP. He knew that if it was added, it would bring popularity back to the pack. Bean agreed and he started to work on the project. It only took a couple months for the project to be finished and added to CTGP. But if you notice during this time, Bean began getting more and more quiet about the information on the state of the rule voting update, with the latest update being at the bottom of the description with the update briefly mentioned. The next thing I will be working on will hopefully allow 200cc and indeed other modes like Item Rain to be played in public races. Watch this space. After the 200cc and Item Rain updates rolled out, Bean found himself back in America again, and once again without his normal tools. So Bean began working on a new project, extending the player slots in Mario Kart Wii past 12. He showed off very early footage and images with extended player slots. He got 13 players working, then 14, then 15, eventually leading up all the way to 24. He decided that 24 players would be a suitable player count to add to CTGP at the moment, which is doubled in the original 12 player slots. However, he did get up to 100 players working, but that footage is lost to time because Bean said nobody is allowed to record it. The 24 player project was more of an experiment, but when Bean saw how popular the mod was, he was determined to finish the project. Nobody expected it to take very long, but this project took over a year to develop and add to CTGP, and even at that, it was only developed all the way up to a beta state. So 24 player was released under a paid beta. If you want to know how to get 24 players, I do have a tutorial on my YouTube on how to access it. Anyway, nearing the end of 24 player beta's development, we finally got an answer as to what was going on with rule voting. It has been years since an official update from Bean and Chadderz about this, but we finally got it on a 24 player video showing off 24 player mode on custom tracks.
But yes, this is coming to CTGP soon. When it releases to the public, it'll be fully featured with online. As I was saying about the online, friend groups only for now with other CTGP clients. We don't want to bring it into CTWW custom tracks worldwide because it changes the game too dramatically to just be a standard cut and paste affair.
And they probably like the existing balance, of course, so...
missing them. And also, the project that I plan to do after this is a feature called Rule Voting, where in CTWW you vote to change what special game modes and whatnot you would like to play with other strangers as an adequate, hopefully a replacement to just having a bunch of different search modes, which I think would divide the community vastly.
We see one of the problems with some games like Mario Kart 8 or, for example, it has different search modes from what I understand. So
and some of them are just not populated at all.
Yeah, so you search for a particular kind of race, like 200cc or whatever, but yes, unless other people are also trying to play the same thing as you at the same time, you won't find each other. And the trouble with...
We see this with countdown mode in CTGP as it currently stands.
Yeah. And the trouble with Mario Kart Wii is there's only ever a few hundred people online at once. So so the trouble is if we add like a, search for 24 players, add, search for 200cc, add search for Item Rain,
you'll never
add
find
search
anyone.
for countdown. You won't find anyone unless people are actually searching at the same time for those races to play. So the plan is to have this voting system. So like how you vote for the tracks online, you can also vote for the game mode you're playing, and it won't be random like the track voting, but it'll be a more democratic system. So if people want to play, say, 24 player or 200cc,
then you'll be allowed to vote for it. So that's how I plan to address 24 players in CTGP. For the time being, it will be all available offline and in your friend rooms.
This was the first actual big news update about rule voting for a long time, meaning that after 24 player mode was completely fully released and out of beta, rule voting will resume being worked on. It got many community members excited for this update, but alas, things took a turn once again. You see, 24 player rooms take an extremely long time to form up. You can only achieve 24 player rooms through friend rooms, and if the host leaves the room, the entire room disbands. The only time somebody could really play 24 player online was if a streamer was streaming it, or if somebody was lucky enough to form 24 players together to form a room. Many people actively knew about the situation, and with rule voting still a long time away from release, Bean needed to do something to fix this friend room only problem. Bean came up with a temporary solution that wouldn't take too long to make while rule voting was still far away. He came up with the idea of open friend rooms, allowing anyone to start their own friend room and put on open rooms.
It's a private worldwide, effectively, which means that that you can apply any rules to it and stuff like that. You want to play 24-player in a manner where people can come and go. This is the way you would do it, type thing. And as long as you have a friend code of someone who is in the room, you can join it, assuming that the host allows that. If not, the host will allow friends to join, and it will fall to friends of friends if the host ever disconnects.
Open rooms would have GP points or affect VR depending on what the host wants. He started programming this feature along with the ability to start your own worldwide in CTWW. Eventually, we got one half of the open room update, with the ability of creating your own worldwides in CTWW coming first, and then the actual open rooms coming later. But before Bean could get a chance to finish up the Open Rooms update, two more things got in his path. Online Time Trial was recently released on the Custom Track Wiki. Created by Melg, this would allow players to connect to a room and for a room to function exactly like a time trial. This became a big trend throughout the Mario Kart Wii community, and Bean realized the popularity of the game mode. So he decided he wanted to start working on his own version of Online Time Trial, but with additional features. But before Bean could even get to working on Online Time Trial, Troy was doing these knockout tournaments on his YouTube channel. If you don't know what knockout tournaments are, I have an entire video discussing everything about the game mode. Troy commissioned Bean to start working on a knockout game mode for CTGP, and so before he could start working on Online Time Trial, he began working on knockout mode first. Rule voting was once again kept deep in the dark, with more new and unexpected planned features getting in the way of the update. The rule voting update is in the weirdest position an update has ever been in, with many new game modes and features constantly getting in the way of it. Will we ever get the rule voting update, or is it so delayed that it will never see the light of day? Let's talk in the comments, and check out this Mario Kart challenge video.